Like a plan. Well, welcome everybody to Richardson Plano Networkers and our Friday. Okay, now let's see if we can get his microphone out of the way. David, can you get your microphone? Thank you. Beautiful. Since I have to read this, I mean, I know all this by heart. But anyway, so Dave Roberts is going to be our guest speaker today. Just jump right in. That's what I like about a leader. He's the CEO and founder of My Vision Warrior. He has 45 years of business transformation experience. 30 years as a corporate vice president and partner, and he'll tell you the businesses that he was involved in. He's an author, a speaker, a podcaster, and a coach. I've had the pleasure to be working with him for 7 years now. 15 plus years to pursue vision of impact for other people, help them. Passion in supporting inspired leaders and building community and networks. And if you go look him up, you'll see that it's not just Richardson Plano Networkers, but he's got a few others as well. He's also very active in a few other, like BeeKonnected. He leads Richardson Plano Networkers, and you know, that's this group here. We also meet on Wednesdays. We have an alternative Monday group, and then a Saturday men's breakfast. No offense to the women in the group. He's a great guy. I'm proud to call him my friend. And with that, I'll stop talking, and hopefully he's had his cup of coffee in hand. He'll step back in front of the screen, and let me welcome again David Roberts.
Yeah. Okay. So, thanks, Randy. It's always kind of fun to be introduced to the community that you invest about 30 hours a week of your life into keeping going. And so I appreciate the introduction, Randy, and I will unspotlight you with me, and we'll get started. So let me explain a couple things. One is I'm really disappointed that Tammy's not here because there's another group going on. Rick Rawson runs a group, and I'm not dissing this at all, in Frisco, and they also are on Zoom. And what they're going to be talking about today is how to join the zombie horde and sit around and complain about where we're at, because the title of his talk today was "I'm mad as hell and I need to do something about it," or whatever. And the thing is, that is one of the biggest problems that we have today. And it's not a problem that's unique to today. And I'm going to move this microphone back because I want to make sure that you can hear me. Is we need to remember why we're doing what we're doing, the value you provide, and what your vision is going forward, in spite of all the noise in our environment. So I'm glad you're here. Let's see, I've got Dawn's going to join us. Oh, Dawn, I can't wait. I'll engage you in a second. I'm going to promote you to panelist, but I'm going to get going here, and I'm going to do something that I think is probably, you may not understand it at this point, but I think it's probably the most valuable thing I can do right now. Is I'm going to talk to you about how to get into this thing we call BeeKonnected, and how to really, if you're already on the platform, how to make it work for you, because it is at a place where it will definitely change your life if you engage it. And I'll explain that to you, and you'll say, oh, that sounds like a lot of hype, and oh, you've been talking about this for a long time, and oh, by the way, I signed up, and I'm not sure if exactly what I'm supposed. I mean, there's all kinds of things, right? I've heard it all. And so I'm going to take some time. I'm going to leverage my own time, and I'm going to bring you guys up to speed. Whether you do anything with it or not, it's up to you. By the way, Tammy Gross, as I said before, for those that hadn't joined us before, she has COVID, and she's coughing every other word. So we decided that it wasn't a good strategy for her to do the mastermind today. So she'll be joining us back, I believe, I'm thinking the 22nd of July. And by the way, we have other leaders other than me teed up for every Friday going between now and then already. So I'm excited to introduce you to a lot of different people. So let me talk to you about BeeKonnected. I'm gonna go through a couple of slides. And by the way, let me do, while I'm bringing up the slides real quick, Dawn, why don't you unmute, and I'm going to spotlight you real quick and just share people with everybody here, because we got some new folks here, what you do, and then I'll take you off the stage. Okay, go ahead.
Dawn with Club Z Tutoring. We tutor pre-K up to college. We tutor in the home. And my goal or passion is to help kids that are struggling in school. And that's what our tutors are all set up for. So, I mean, it's a great business to be in right now, and it's a great business for kids. So it's definitely a need, and we love it. The tutors love it. We love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Dawn. And I will remove the spotlight there so you don't feel like you're sitting here with me on the stage. So, but I do have I'm sharing my screen. I assume everybody can see that right now. Okay, so for one thing, if you got involved with BeeKonnected a while back, it may have, it really, the whole platform looked different than it does right now. My visual communications expert, Don Huff, who's on here, would probably, that would pop up to you real quickly, Don, right? Is it the visual presentation is substantially different. So let's talk about that. First of all, a lot of people are, still wondering, okay, what is going on with this BeeKonnected? And I want to talk to you about one thing. Where BeeKonnected is at, I just want to give you perspective. You've got $350 million. A lot of people have been hearing about Elon Musk and Twitter, and that's been on the news, all that kind of stuff. There's 353 million users of Twitter. There's 750, and these numbers might be larger or smaller, but this is where they were at when I was doing this. 756 million users or members of LinkedIn, 2.3 billion users of YouTube, 2.85 billion users of Facebook, 1 billion users of Instagram, 1 billion on TikTok, and 459 million on Pinterest. And you say, why do I care? Well, because we're in a local networking group, we're a mastermind, we're trying to always figure out how to move forward. As I started to say, we're not going to sit here and focus on where we're at. If you're totally overwhelmed, worrying about your 401k that's tanking right now, or if you're worried about whether the dollar that you have now that's worth 70 cents is working for you, those are all legitimate concerns. But the purpose of this mastermind is, and what we're trying to do here, is to get us focused forward. And one of the things BeeKonnected platform is in the context of these, you see it says current social media. BeeKonnected is a disruptive platform because of one thing. Nobody trusts media today, these days. BeeKonnected is a social media disruptor that you're part of. If you've signed up for this as a free member, and by the way, that's totally cool. Anybody here can be free, and I'll talk to you about what's available to free, but I want you to understand what you have. A lot of people, like I said, they got on early. It is still today a very early innovator. So if you've ever been on board with something that was really early on, I mean, if you were part of Richardson Plano Networkers when we had 14 people in the room, you wouldn't have been able to see that we have 1,800 members and we're doing things on everything we did back in 2014 is not what we're doing today, right? So things have changed. So it's a disruptor. And the thing I want to say, and this is my slide, is it's social business rather than media. And why do I say social business? Because here's the thing I don't like. All of those platforms, by the way, that I mentioned before, I'm on. I have a presence on there. I probably have, between all of the connections and everything I have across all those platforms, probably close to 100,000 connections myself. You say, wow, that's really impressive. No, that's not impressive at all, because I don't know what the heck to do with that. And so part of it is everybody's trying to figure out, how do I, number one, do in-person, that in this group, I would assume, if you're here, how do I get involved in person or face-to-face networking, whether it's via Zoom or in the room? And how do I use that to build my business? I'm a local business, or I'm a, I can't offer services, but how do I, those kinds of things. If you really look at what's happening here, you have content, you have value, whether it's a product, a service, your message, your coach, your money, in the case of Ruth, or whatever, there is value you have to offer. But the thing is, big tech and then your legacy media are there, and nobody trusts media right now. Does anybody trust media? I don't trust the messaging I'm getting. I don't even know if, when I'm doing something on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or wherever I'm at, right? I don't even know if my message is getting out. And frankly, it's only getting out if they want me to get it out. All right. They dial it back, they do it. And guess what? The entire reason for social media, the same reason on your TV shows have content, is to sell you stuff, is to capture your eyes, to capture your visibility, to capture your mind, so that at some point they can make you go and motivate you. And remember, I don't like to motivate, I like to inspire. I don't want to motivate you, because to me, motivation is manipulation. It's finding those buttons to push that make you do something that you may or may not want to do. I don't want to do that. I never want to do that. I don't mind getting you excited. I'm excited about this particular platform. I've invested a lot in this platform, from a time, my most valuable asset, and from a consulting. I've helped the founders of this and so on along the way. I've been part of the equation for quite a while. It's really just becoming, quote, really powerful right now. But the cool thing is, we're big fish. Anybody that's here, even if you're not doing anything with BeeKonnected right now, you are a big fish in a small pond, but there's some really, really big fish in this pond. And I'll explain that to you in a second. So the three things that BeeKonnected is doing is, first of all, you say, I don't have any following. Nobody follows me. That's not true. I don't care if you think that. That's head trash. You need to figure that out. But to help you monetize your current following, if you're investing time in networking, is building a community, everybody in Richardson Plano Networkers, I can tell you, the ones that show up, the people on this that have been part of our group before, you're all servant leaders. And what does that mean? That means you're contributing, you're investing in our group, you're investing in this mastermind, you're investing in our weekly networking on Wednesdays, you're investing in having one-to-ones with people, you're investing in referring people to other people in the group. If you could go ahead and do all of that and make a couple of bucks on the side, or in addition to that, just for doing that, would you do that? Of course you would. I mean, if you wouldn't, then we need to have a one-to-one so I can explain to you why getting a better return or getting additional return on your most valuable asset, which is your time, is a good thing. So first of all, that's what it does. The second thing is the BeeKonnected platform, whether you realize or not, will help you grow your following or grow the people that get visibility to you in a more logical and less time-consuming way. And then the third thing is, it does enable you to create new revenue, ways to take your message, and then whether it's new revenue sources, getting new clients, maybe it's finding ways to add value to your existing client base, whatever it may be, or whatever. So that's the key. So this is, again, the platform is moving to the vision of here. So again, if you've looked at this before, my vision, again, I keep picking on Don, but my visual communication guy, the branding, the packaging, the stuff has evolved, and it's now looking more and more like what you're used to seeing on some of these other more pervasive platforms. And I'm not going to get into all the details of how to use it. So there's 3 components of this that you may or may not be aware. I'm going to actually show you mine in a second, but you create your profile. If you come into Richardson Plano Networkers and you're coming to a meeting, and you come into the room, you sit down, you order food, and you don't get up to do your 30 seconds, that wouldn't be a really wise way to use your investment of time in coming to the group, right? You want to be able to put yourself out there, let people at least know you are. So you can be found by creating a profile. If you have a profile on LinkedIn, Facebook, your website, whatever, it's cut and paste. You can build a profile on BeeKonnected. If you need help with that, I can help you do that. But the key is here, if you're on the platform, create your profile. The other thing is your profile has 2 components. One is public. I'll show you mine. It's not that great, but it's getting better. But there's also a private profile. If anybody, I've never used one, but if anybody's used a dating program where you say, I like long walks on the beach, and I do this, and this is where I was raised, and the private profile, there's an algorithm in BeeKonnected that connects you to people that would align with you, that takes that private profile along with your behavior and integrates it into a way to offer you up as somebody that other people want to talk to. The other thing is you can create groups. We have a private Facebook group for Richardson Plano Networkers. We also have a private private BeeKonnected group on the BeeKonnected platform. The other thing is this mastermind is a live show on the BeeKonnected platform. If you notice, this is actually slides from BeeKonnected. The last picture there showing a show is my warrior versus zombie show. I do 2 shows a week. One is my warrior versus zombie podcast, which is done as a show. Don's been on that podcast. Randy's been on that podcast. Everybody that's on this Zoom right now is invited to be a warrior guest. And you say, what does that mean? That means we get to talk about your story, which is one of the reasons I was excited to have Tammy here, because she can help you craft that so we can tell your story. Then we talk about why you're doing what you're doing, the unique value you provide, if anything were possible, where you go. That's my warrior versus zombie story. And I also have a group. Just like with Facebook groups and other kinds of groups or LinkedIn groups, it's an affinity group. You can actually then start to have more of an ongoing connection with your people. It's the reason why we created a Facebook group, because we meet once a week at Richardson Plano Networkers. But somebody makes an announcement, somebody has something to offer in between groups, and we want to stay connected. And a lot of things are happening. Same thing in this group, and we're going to be migrating to that group as we go forward. So with BeeKonnected, the first thing is, I say, most of you that are already on the platform, there are some people that are paid, but that's changed dramatically. There's only 2 options right now. There's free and there's $49 a month, and that's it. There is a third option, which is you can make an investment and get a piece of the equity of the company. I'm not going to go a lot into that today, but if you want to have that conversation, there's also another Connect to Thrive show that I put on that show that I walk through all that, where you can do, for $600, you can have a half a share of the company and have a lifetime membership to BeeKonnected with no other charges. Now, to give you perspective, just for one thing, I just want everybody to have everything that they need to make decisions that they're going to make on what they want to do with what I'm sharing today. is free. You can be on the platform, you can create a profile, you can watch any show you want, you can be part of any community you want, and that's totally cool. If you want to have your own show or begin to monetize your audience, you need to be an ambassador. That means the $49 a month. Now you say, that's $49 a month I don't have. That's fine. It's a business investment. If you don't have it, you don't have it. If you're on LinkedIn and you say, I want to use it to grow my business, then you would want to go upgrade to Sales Navigator, which is around 80, 90 bucks a month. So competitively speaking, it's a good platform. The difference is in LinkedIn, remember there's 700 and some million. You say, I've got access to more people. Yeah, maybe not, because what are you going to do with those people? I mean, I get 35 connection requests for people that want to have one-to-ones with me every day on LinkedIn. And the time it takes for me to sort through that and figure out who I want to talk to is not worth my time. So I always tell them, if you really want to connect with me, move over to this platform or come to Richardson Plano Networkers, and we'll begin our relationship. Okay, so let's talk about really quickly. So what is a free member? You get unlimited connection requests. If somebody's been around for a bit, they said, oh, well, no, I thought you run out of connection requests after 10. No, it's unlimited now. You have free unlimited access, as I said, to the live shows. You're able to join unlimited public groups. You have everybody that's a free member. You also have your own ability to have your own personal website. You can say, hey, connect with me on LinkedIn. It'll bring up the website. That public profile you're talking about is there available. They can start to get to know you. There's also a website and an app. And then if you look at the profile set up there, and you'll see mine, you can, if you have other collateral, for example, Don Huff, again, sorry, Don, I don't mean to pick on you all day today, but Don has an amazing website. He has massive portfolio of things that he's done, and he can offer those. He could put snippets of that, videos, stuff like that in his profile that people could say, oh, Don Huff, yeah, okay, he's a bit, so, and that's where that's going. So again, it's just taking you back there. I'm just bouncing through this, and sorry, I just want you to go. So you have a connection generator, which you can go in and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody. If you go to the ambassador membership, where you have connection generator, it's kind of a basic level. You can't start granularly drilling down, kind of like you can't do to any substantial degree on LinkedIn, for example. You can get more granular. You can get into some of the things that may only be in a private and say, these are the kind of things I'm interested in, that feed that. And then it'll offer up 6 options, and you can start connecting and building your audience on that. You also can create or build your own show, which I have, like I said, 2 of them. And people you can, for $49 a month or for $440 a year, you can have your own show. You can say, look, let's say I'm just spitballing here, throwing some things out, but maybe, Tony's wanting to create a community of people that are investing in properties or doing, whatever you're wanting to do, right? You could create a group like other groups out there to kind of do that and start building a community. And the people in your community that are joining that conversation, if they're not already in the BeeKonnected platform, they become your referrals. This isn't like a multi-level thing. This is just, and there's an affiliate or a referral component of this, where if you're an ambassador, you can actually get credit for that if they in turn decide to pay. That's really all it is. It's not that more. What does that mean? So as an ambassador, for annual commissions, if people, sign up for, the annual, you're going to make $66. It's not life changing, but if you think about the numbers, it can get really thin. And then if you refer somebody who's building an audience, so this means if you say, well, I don't have any community, but I can bring other people in, kind of like I bring people into my show every week, is if they're not already on the platform and then they have an audience, then if they then bring other people on, right, then and those people become ambassadors. If they're free, they're free. There's no money there. But if they're ambassadors or they bring people on, then there is a little bit of money. It's not huge, but if it's monthly, it's $7.50 a month. So if you think about it, if you were on BeeKonnected, let's say you referred people to Sales Navigator, and every time you invited somebody to come on to be LinkedIn way back when, and they started coming, I've got 11,000 followers, and if I made, out of that, I don't know how many are Sales Navigators. Well, let's say there's 20%. I would have a pretty good chunk of change coming in every month for people that are subscribing to the paid membership of LinkedIn. So this is, quick example. If 20%, if you had somebody that you brought in, or you have an audience and you had 100,000 followers, 10% of that decided to become paid members, you'd get $75,000 a month. If 20% of those people converted to a paid membership, you'd have $150,000 a month. I don't know of anybody on this call that wouldn't like to have that kind of money. There's no guarantees. It's just simple math that's a possibility. Again, please do not try to think that I'm trying to motivate you. I'm just giving you the information so that you can do with it what you wish. My main thing is get on the platform as a free member, because within this community, I'm going to continue to leverage the two communities and going to use BeeKonnected to refer you out, or to refer people into you that's in that community. And that's the kind of the people that I bring, Tammy Gross, other people in. It's not magic. I'm getting a lot of these people from people I'm connected to globally. That's in 120 countries, and everybody's moving to Dallas. So who knows? If you only want to deal with local people, they might live here in the not too distant future. Okay, so that's that. And then if you bring somebody, let's say you find somebody and you're connected to somebody who has 1 million followers, and they come in and it's not you, but they come in, whatever they make as far as the money, you get a match. I'm gonna kind of blow through this more quickly because I want you to I really don't want to go through this, and I really want to give us some time, because what I didn't do what I had before is I didn't have an audience of people to ask questions, and Randy's always got great questions, and everybody here probably has their own questions, and I want to have time just to think about it, to talk about it. So right now there's one opportunity that I think it still exists, and I'm saying this to you in all honesty and transparency. I do not know if it exists still, but they have a 10% equity pool of the company that is basically going to pay out every quarter 10% to that pool of the profit or the revenues of the company. And then ultimately, if it was ever sold, you would have 10%. That pool would have 10% ownership. And for a half a share of $600, if you buy into that, and if anybody's interested, I'll send you, I can send you the form to try to do that if it's still available. But for $600, you don't have to pay the 49. You can be an ambassador, and you can have basically a half of a share of that pool. I have more than a half a share. I'm not going to go into how much I have, but I'm participating in that pool in full transparency. So I do have now. I used to say I don't have any equity in it, and I didn't really want any. I'm an early adopter. I do have a little bit. So that limited opportunity may be gone. I don't want to end today because of this opportunity, not sharing that with you. Okay. So what does that basically means is if you were to sign up as an ambassador right now at $49 a month, it would be $440 a year, versus if you jump in, take 0.5%, it's $600 and there's no more to pay. So it is a good deal, but it's not a reason to do it if you don't have the money and you're not willing to make that kind of investment. Right now my Bitcoin is blown up, down, and every other investment I have is down. So if you're into that, great. If you're not, you're into real estate like Tony, or whatever, or gold, or I don't care, fine, do it. I mean, again, this is not me trying to get you to do anything other than what you think makes sense. And this is kind of what there's a crowdfunding form that I can send you that you can use if you're interested. If you're not interested, it's okay. So you say, well, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, right now, to this 10%, we're at about 10,000 members. So the revenue coming in, valued at this at roughly 5 million, and the pool, it would be 500,000 at 100,000 members with a the conversion, it would be roughly 50 million. The pool would have 5 million, and so on and so forth. Again, there are no guarantees here, just to give you, and you say, okay, so that's all great. But there's only 1,000 shares. That's why I said, well, it's only available, and I don't know if it's still available, because that pool, there's 1,000 shares. It's non-diluted. There's nothing left after the 1,000 are gone, period. And they're only giving up 10% of the equity. So the question is, where are we right now? That little circle there is where BeeKonnected is as we speak. So as you can see, and this projections are based upon the people they've just recently hired to come in, help market it. You're going to start seeing BeeKonnected in media. They're making some media investment. They're going after very large people who have large audiences. They're not going after, going to pay Joe Rogan $1 million or whatever, but it's people who have audiences. So that's part of what they're doing there, is to build this community even bigger. So, and that's what it kind of looks like if you take that share. So I just want you to be aware of it. Again, free is free, do free. Don't get anxious about it. Don't do something because you think, oh, FOMO, I'm going to go do it. I'm telling you, don't do it for that reason. Do it, be informed, think about things, ask questions, and we'll have fun. I'm already there, and I just I figured this is a divine appointment, an opportunity for me to share something with you that some of you are aware of, but most of you are not. So again, I apologize for Tammy not being here, but now I'm going to open up the floor. We are in a mastermind. So if you have a question, now's the time. So Ruth, go ahead. I see you opened your mic.
Oh,
Oh, it was open before, but that's okay.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ruth.
Ruth, do you
ahead.
have any questions, or should I go to Randy?
oh, yeah, go ahead and go to Randy.
All right, hang on, Randy. Let me spotlight you here. So there you go.
Well,
so everybody can
I
see
actually
your
don't
spot.
have anything spectacular to say, except that I thought maybe we ought to give David a round of applause for filling in and giving us some information that I was personally not up to date on. So
Well, God has a reason for everything.
that's right.
And
right.
I've been wanting to do a better job of kind of bringing the people that are investing in this community up to speed. And I know, like I said, I know a number of you at various points along the journey have gotten on board. And at one point it was $2.99 and $2.99 a month. And at one point it was $2.99 and $49 a month. And then it was this and it was that. I mean, again, anytime you're getting into this kind of opportunity,
Right. It's ground level.
It's very ground level, and
Right.
things start to change. Now it's changed, and they're changing it. The way they're changing it is to simplify it and make it to where it will blow up to 1 million in the next 6 months and 5 million in the next year. It will start doing that. And everybody, the people who are working on this, I'm not going to tell you who they are, but all I can tell you is they've all been involved in one degree or another at some place along the way with those other platforms that I was just showing you that have millions of followers. So these people aren't people that are, you know, entrepreneurs or wanting to do it right. They're people that that are experienced in this way. Tony, why don't you go ahead?
Just one other quick thought. Some of the folks that are involved in this are folks that have supported and have been active in Richardson Plano Networkers. So I just wanted to make that comment.
Absolutely. Tony, go ahead.
Tony.
I have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
I wanted to write them down so you can remember what they are. The first one is, what is the purpose of BeeKonnected?
Okay.
Second one, when was it founded?
Okay.
And the last one, who is the owner?
Okay. So the owners are, the primary owners are Tanya Hoffman and J.R. Reed. I'll go in reverse so that I can, you know, and it was founded in early, probably May of 2020. It officially launched what I would call a soft launch in September of 2020. But you can view what's about to happen as the real launch.
It launched right at the heart of COVID.
Yeah. And that wasn't intentional. It just, that was the way it was. The purpose. So does that answer those questions? Because then the purpose of BeeKonnected, as I said in the beginning, and I know I blew through it real fast, and so it's okay. If I blew by something I'm not offended by anything. It really is, the intention is to be more intentional about connecting. This is my interpretation, by the way. This isn't like the corporate presentation. It's the same purpose that I have with doing Richardson Plano Networkers, is connecting intentional business owners and entrepreneurs with other intentional business owners and entrepreneurs that are trying to do business together, try to create this relationship of people who know, like, and trust and can do business together. You can do that on those other platforms, but if you've ever tried to do that on those other platforms, this is my own frustration, is it's like being in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean screaming for somebody to come to you, and whether your message gets out or not. That's the BeeKonnected, like Richardson Plano Networkers, is more person to person. It's very much designed to connect Dave to Tony or Tony to Dave by Tony or Dave's intention, right? And do that online globally. So like I said, I've had people on my show on Warrior versus Zombie. One of my guests is in Sweden. Another of my guests that I met through BeeKonnected is in the Caribbean. You know, they're all over but it's still a very small group. I mean, it's bigger than Richardson Plano Networkers, but it's still a very small group.
So I am very interested on this, and I like the name. It's very catchy. It's very easy to remember, and I like the logo. Yeah, I am interested.
Okay, well, we can take any interest, and I know you, Tony, a little bit. We've had one-to-ones, and I'm happy to take that offline. Are there any other questions you have that you think everybody else would like? Because again, I don't want to make this about my total and sole purpose for this mastermind discussion that I wasn't planning was to do what Randy said, which is basically bring you up to speed as to where it's at today, because some of you have been exposed along the road in that place that, you know, getting to where we are today. And it's totally different. Right. And I knew it would be, but I wanted y'all to know where we're at.
It's all about awareness for us today.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. And
right,
I think I like how you show Facebook, LinkedIn, and all those big ones. And sometimes they can be too big. Like you try to get this specific information and you go to this huge platform. You don't know what you're doing, what you're looking for. So if it can be more user-friendly, you know, I think there's potential there.
Right.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know that, by the way, this is being recorded. It'll be on the BeeKonnected platform as a show. So maybe somebody on BeeKonnected that's trying to figure out what to do with it will benefit from this as well. And that's fine. All I care about is, my main purpose for everything I'm doing is to hopefully add value to everybody here. So thanks, Tony. I appreciate your, I'm going to go, Karen, why don't you, weigh in. And Ruth, I see your mic is still open, so I will come to you. I'm not ignoring you. So Karen, you want to go ahead?
Oh, sorry about that, Dave. I was messing with my new headset. I didn't realize I'd unmuted. So,
Okay, well, go ahead. And I'm sure you have some kind of question or comment,
well,
right?
I mean, it's like, I love the BeeKonnected platform. I just wish more people would, get on there. So guys, get on there for free. Do this so we can get connected on there. So because I was planning on doing the BeeKonnected the same way as I'm being trained on how to use the Facebook through the mentorship with the insurance agents. So so we got to have people to connect with.
Okay, so absolutely right. Karen is an ambassador on the BeeKonnected platform. And what I will say to Karen, and I will say to everybody here, is getting on the platform. And again, nobody has to, anybody's been on, say, I can give you 100 reasons why anybody may not be active on the platform right now. I totally understand it. What I would say is now's the time to get your profile, get engaged, start trying to connect to people, because you're going to be in, even though it seems like it's been around since, I told Tony earlier, it's been around since 2020. It's really just starting. And even people that have been around don't even know what I just shared with you. Some of the people, they got on, how you do, right? You get on, you say, yeah, okay, I'm interested. Click in, go, and then you get busy. You're doing other stuff. And that's so that's a good point, Karen. So if you're not on, get on. If you need to be on, Dustin, I see you have to head out, but we can follow up, and that's great. Ruth, go ahead. Oh, Karen, did you have something else or no? Okay, go ahead, Ruth.
I just wanted to thank you for the presentation. I saw BeeKonnected last year, and it wasn't presented like this at all. So I'm more interested now, and I'm going to take another look at it.
Yeah, and it wasn't really, honestly, whether I presented or anything, it wasn't in a place to present it the way I'm presenting it to you now. So in all fairness, however you got connected, and frankly, if I can be very transparent with everybody here, is again, I invest a lot of time in building community. And for me, this is like, oh, okay, by the way, it's not for profit, but it's not for loss. Oh, by the way, I can make a couple of bucks and still serve in addition to what I'm making, right? And still serve my community without changing my focus, right? I'm still focused on serving the community. So thank you, Ruth. That's encouraging to me. And again, I consider this a divine appointment in a way that I wasn't planning. So it worked out great. Who else, anybody else? I'd be interested in any kind of questions. Randy, go ahead.
Yeah, the one comment that I'd like to make, or two actually, is when I joined, I don't know, 2 years ago when it was first introduced to us, it had the limitation of if you had the free membership, you could only have 10 connections. And so that was very limiting. But now I'm happy to hear that it's unlimited connections. So now when you join and you start to build your page and you start to reach out to people in connections, there's two benefits. Number one, helps you grow your business. All right. And when you build your page, you can refer to all of these people who you've now invited and are now members of BeeKonnected. And then the second thing is, in addition to using this as a tool to grow your business, it also has the potential for, I won't say gigantic financial rewards because that's selling, but it has the advantage for financial rewards that LinkedIn and other places do not have for us because we have the ability to get in early. So, again, without trying to oversell, because I'm not, there's a lot of pluses here that didn't exist so much a year or so ago when it was first introduced. So I think it's great, David. Thanks for presenting today.
Yeah, my pleasure. David Robinson, I'm going to spotlight you because you've been very active on the platform on these masterminds, and I'm certain you have some thoughts or some questions or whatever. You've got a lot of experience. You understand early innovator opportunities. I know you've done a lot of things. You've had your own experience with startups, those kinds of things. So any thoughts or questions from your standpoint, David Robinson?
No, I'm interested. I appreciate it's free. I'm going to give it a shot. It's interesting. A hole in my, I have no trouble prospecting, attending events, making my abundantly ignorant voice heard, even and offer opinions even when I know nothing. But anyway, it was interesting because I'm not sure if that's coming through. Bear with me. I'll probably have to change
Life
the back.
short. Yeah, you just got it on blur, so it's sometimes with the virtual background.
Yeah, it's because the virtual back. I actually attended. There you go. Is that better? It's
Success
backwards,
Summit,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Success Summit. I actually run by a gentleman. Actually, I was at his name's Stephen Black, but it was all about. It was one day invested in social media, the whole thing, and I am woefully inadequate at social media. I'm woefully inadequate at commercializing it. I have 2,000 connections on LinkedIn. I've got 500 on Facebook. I've just wandered in more accidentally into Instagram. I do nothing in TikTok. I mean,
Well, the biggest one for Gen Z and the millennials is TikTok, which is interesting, and that's another whole nother discussion.
Well,
the key is with BeeKonnected, and let me maybe make you a little make you a little more forgiving of yourself with being woefully inadequate on those things. First of all, I know Stephen Black, he's been asking to get on our stage. I also understand he's actually been on our stage before. Excuse me. But you can invest a ton of time in trying to become non-woefully in any of those platforms. And the reality of it is you got a job to do, you got connections to make, you need to do it in a way that you can do it. And that's part of why I am enamored and I've been around, I've been around since MySpace. I've been around since before Facebook in quote social media, but this isn't social media. That we're moving towards a target of social business.
No, granted, and that's the point, David. That because I came away from the session, and working with each one of these tools is almost like its own program, has its own way of doing things, its own processes, its own programming languages effectively. And I'm old enough. I go back to Fortran and COBOL programming. Could even read a hex chart, and then I'm looking at this. It's like, oh my God! It's like 8 different platforms, each with their own specific way of doing things. Each one, and I've got to learn how to go through the process. And at the end, it's still Facebook, it's still LinkedIn, it's still, and I'm not sure if I'm getting any traction out of the time spent in that space between you and I.
The good news is for people that have really immersed in it, and you can you can start becoming a consultant on LinkedIn. I'm amazed at all these podcast guests that I have, that they do this, and also they're good at LinkedIn, and also and they'll sell you a program on that, because it's kind of like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Infusionsoft. It's now called Keep, but it was a tool for a CRM and how to integrate all that stuff and everything. The funny thing was, it gotten branded Confusionsoft because it's so hard to use that you had to hire a consultant to make it work. The reality of it is, in today's world with LinkedIn, you mentioned it, I'm just really saying what you're saying in a different way, is that whether it's Facebook pages and trying to make that work, or LinkedIn or Twitter, or any of those platforms, maybe not so much Twitter for building business, it's more for being a troll. But anyway, so the point is, getting to using that, you really either need to hire somebody or invest a heck of a lot of time. And at least what I feel here, and this is my point of view, if that you don't see it this way, it's totally okay, is it is something that you can do that's very much in line with what most of you are doing in an, let's call it an analog way, in face-to-face or in-person networking, even if your in-person is on Zoom. Tony Duran, you got another question?
Yes, I do. So I know it's been on since 2020. What type of legal security you guys have where somebody else cannot come and take their name and say, hey, I used this before you guys did in 2018. Do you guys have any type of security, like where the name is secured, no one can steal it from you guys or take it away?
Well, first of all, I'm not you. Well, I do have a piece of that 10% I shared with you, but you guys is the founders, and yeah, they've got that all branded, and they're actually going into subsequent levels of funding here that will keep them still in control of over 50% of the company. But yeah, I mean, there are people going to be investing, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in the platform. I don't even know. I don't even care. I mainly look at businesses the way you're asking the questions is, have you done those things? The answer is, yeah. Do I know exactly what they've done? I know, but I know these people. I now know who they are and what kind of resources they have.
So I said that because my business partner, my private lender, he's an inventor. So he's the one who invented where you could shoot 50 balloons, water in 50 balloons, and tie them up and release them.
Yeah.
And somebody else copied it.
Somebody stole his IP and
so he has to sue them. And it was a big deal. They had to go all the way to DC to fight it. It was a big deal. Well, because it was a good product that he put in the market first, but somebody is copying it, and they had to fight so much to get that protection. So nobody else could ever do it again.
Yeah, back in the early days, and I say early days being 2020, we had discussions. I didn't have to sign an NDA, but some of the folks that I'm very close to on the IP. So yeah, it's there. So good question. Any other thoughts? If you can either volunteer your question or I'll voluntold you. Because I want to engage everybody here. David, did you have something else?
No.
Okay. Your mic was still open. I just wanted to make sure. I'm really interested in Dawn Tilger because she with her franchise and some of the things she's doing, and I know she's really in the thick of all of the connecting with parents and connecting with tutors and all that kind of stuff. And I'd be interested in your processing of just what I blew through here pretty quick. Any thoughts, any questions?
It's a lot to think about for sure. I just started with a social media marketing company. And so it's just amazing. All those analytics and everything. It's just, I don't even know how they keep up with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's free, right?
What?
And it's free, right?
No, it's actually, I shouldn't say that. It's free for 3 months through my franchise, and then it won't be free.
Yeah, I was being facetious because a couple of my clients have franchises and have their social media folks, and they're paying a decent amount of change a month to to just be noticed on those platforms and get quote leads. And frankly, I'm a big believer in doing what you're doing with being connected to this group. Forget about BeeKonnected. So your return on that investment of, in that community could be substantially more with substantially less even personal overhead, because even when you get the metrics, you got to figure out if they're right. So I mean, we can have a talk. I can help you with what I've learned, engaging a social media company to help me help us get a franchise message out to their local audience. So, and by the way, Tony Wang, who's not on here, he's also, into, local visibility and that kind of stuff, and he's part of the group. But thanks.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Let's see, who else? I know, Karen, you got to weigh in a little bit. Don Huff, my visual communications guy. I'm sure that from the last time you looked, I don't know if you looked at BeeKonnected lately, but I picked on you a couple times. So now I'm putting you on a spotlight here. Any thoughts, questions, reactions from your standpoint?
Not yet. I signed up for the free thing, but I haven't had a chance to really look into it much more. Just hadn't gotten to the top of my list yet, but I like the way that they have it set up. It's more nationally based, so that will be good.
Right.
And I appreciate you taking the time to tell me a little more about it.
Good. Well, I'm glad. I've owed some of you that have either been on the platform or just been in the group really that update. So this was just an opportunity to do that. And so I appreciate everybody's indulgence here in that whole discussion. Diamond Daisy, I'm going to once you unmute, you don't have to come on screen if you're not ready to do that, but any questions or thoughts? Or, I mean, was this what you were expecting? Today was a little unexpected from my standpoint.
Well, actually, no, it wasn't what I was expecting. I didn't know what to expect no more than, what I was reading as far as what this was going to be about today. I do find that a lot of what has been shared, I was not, I never knew about BeeKonnected, Be Heard, Be Found. The closest thing that I knew about BEE, was Busy Bee Trucking, because I am a co-owner of a trucking company as well. So when I saw the BEE, I said, okay, there you go.
That's somebody good. I know, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but as far as with the social business, I think that is really great, because you get all of this social media out here. And I mean, it's just gone out of hand as far as I'm concerned. You got the Facebook and the LinkedIn and all that, and it's just so saturated, and it's not like it was back in the beginning, because I've been on those platforms just as you for years. Unlike others that I really wouldn't need to hire a social media expert, because I'm not that well versed in that, and I really do want to get what I have out there, but the social business part is what I'm attracted to. So with the BeeKonnected, I need to be connected with BeeKonnected. I really do. So I'm not disappointed in being here today. I plan on definitely being back, and perhaps in about another week or so, I can participate in one of your live meetings so that I can get a chance to get, really, get in the energy of, people live. So no, I don't have anything to critique. I liked everything so far in your presentation. It was straight to the point. It wasn't long and boring. I appreciate you not being boring and having one of those boring type voices when you're presenting. Trust me, I really do. I absolutely do. So I plan on being back, and I do plan. I was just looking up the BeeKonnected. I was trying to figure out how do I get. I'm looking at. I don't know which one of these pages to join, So I would need to know.
I just put a link in the chat. If you're
Okay.
able to get to the chat,
I can.
and if you click on that link, and I would recommend anybody do, hopefully, let's see, there we go. I just want to make sure it works. I didn't test it. I just typed it in. Yeah, you have it, by the way, just for people that haven't been part of it, even to be a free member, you have to be invited. Okay, so you have to be invited by somebody. That's part of the way they, kind of honor the people, right? So, so you have to be invited. Plus, frankly, we want intentional, not spammers, not trolls, people that you want to do business with, people you already know that you kind of like. So I invite this group because I know, like, and trust most everybody here. So that's why I shared that link. And then Tony, I also posted, is Tony still here? Yeah, Tony, I also posted the link to the form for the crowdfunding. And again, all I'll say is if you click on that, you fill that out and they say, oops, sorry, I'm not, that's the link for the crowdfunding. So if you were really inclined to do that, said, hey, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to have a paid membership, that would be a good thing to do. If you're not, you just want to be free, that's totally fine. And as we move forward, I'm trying to simplify things and integrate things. And I'm just kind of giving everybody here a little heads up, is I'm going to continue to figure out how to integrate these to make it easier in my own life for investing my own most valuable asset in building this community and expanding it globally where it makes sense. And so I'm going to be leveraging BeeKonnected as well.